What's up, everyone? I'm Jake, and I'm joined by Kyle from Kaizen DIY Gym, along with a whole slew of home gym junkies in this roundtable number 7.
That's right. We have a ton of topics to get through, but let's do a quick introduction of our panel. For the first section, would each of you mind giving a 30-second intro about who you are and name your top 3 pieces in your gym?
All right, to start us off, Keith from the No Wine Cellar.
Well, Jake already did it, but yeah, I'm Keith Honeycutt at the No Wine Cellar. You can find me on Instagram. My favorite 3 pieces in my gym, or the main 3 pieces in my gym, would probably be my about 4,000-ish pounds of York milled plates, my full York roundhead dumbbell set, and right around 20-ish barbells I have in my collection. So just the mass amount of stuff I have is, I think, what my 3 favorite pieces at least.
All right. Anything else the people should know about you?
That Gus is home safe.
All right. Excellent. Chip, aka Fig Jam Exerciser on Instagram.
What's up, guys? Yeah, I'm Chip. You can find me on Instagram at figjam_exerciser. A little bit about myself. I started my home gym in 2013. Currently on version 3.0. I guess the 2 main pieces, in my opinion, are my bright green RM5, which is an RM6 with a 30-inch front depth instead of the standard 43. And then I made a custom DIY deadlift platform with trim that matches the Cartho rack, which looks pretty cool. And a fun fact, really, I guess, about my gym is that it's actually in a bonus room above the garage. So it's a bonus room gym, which there's definitely some challenges and some different approaches that I've taken to my gym compared to what traditional, basement or garage gym guys would do.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's awesome.
I didn't know about that.
And that deadlift platform is pretty slick.
Yeah.
What about the name Fig Jam Exercise? What does Fig Jam mean?
Yeah, I was wondering if this was going to come up. That's great. So I played rugby in college, and then for maybe, I guess, 12 or 13 years after that at club level locally. And right out of school, I was pretty confident in my skills. I'll just say that. And so I kind of got the nickname Fig Jam, which is an acronym for I'm good, just ask me. And so my Instagram handle was Fig Jam Rugger for a long time when I was playing rugby. And then when I got ready to finish off Home Gym 3.0, I changed it to Exerciser. My tagline is from Kenny Powers. I used to play real sports, and now I'm just trying to be the best at exercising.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got some good lines there.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Eric from Eckley's Basement Gym. Did I say that right?
No one ever does, but that's okay.
All right.
What is it? What is it? Just for the record.
My last name is Eccles.
Eccles.
Dang it.
So Eric Eccles. I'm from northern Wisconsin, about 45 minutes east of the Twin Cities. I'm one of the many home gym COVID makers. I started that, and I'd say my 3 favorite pieces of equipment. I'm probably the only one in here with the 2x3 rack. I'm rolling with the Titan T3, and you'll hear me say Titan a lot. I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for that. Probably my Rep AB 4100 bench, and actually my Titan wall-mounted pulley system. That thing's awesome. Use it every day.
Nice.
Judgment free. All right. And then lastly, we have Jason from Man Who Parks in, is it the gym or gym?
Almost. Yeah, it's just gym.
Broken
English. Yeah.
I had it as gym, but I felt like there should have been a the.
Well, like when you put it in the invite, I was like, this guy knows me. He knows me. But evidently that's not true.
I forgot.
So yeah, I'm Jason. I go by Man Who Parks in Gym. It's like the longest and dumbest name, and I have to kind of tuck my head and kind of mumble it every time I say it. But some of you guys might have might recognize me from other podcasts such as Do You Even Lift Bro or Garage Gyms, because basement gyms are for pedophiles. Otherwise, I'm on Instagram, and I just try to be a part of the community. But like I said, it's the broken English version, man who parks in gym, not the man or man who parks in the gym. And my three primary pieces in my gym are actually my mini split AC, because it's like 110 degrees outside and I could do body weight exercises, but if it's that fucking hot in here, I'm not doing them. You know what I'm saying? Other one is my, I have a fake Roomba, and I know everybody likes like the leaf blowers or whatever, and I think those are great if you just want to rearrange the dirt all over your garage and put it up in the air so you can breathe it in later.
Yeah.
But to actually get rid of it and not have to like walk around like Martha Stewart vacuuming up my own shit, I just set this thing on a timer and it does it for me while I sleep at night. It's incredible. And then thirdly, it's going to be my drink spotter, because, well, come on, man, it's the drink spotter, right? My dogs get in here and they wrestle and they knock over my drinks or whatever. It just gives me a place to keep it. So those are my three. Wouldn't be the same without those. Anything else I could probably change out and do something different with.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Cool.
I think I need myself a fake Roomba. That sounds
Dude, I'm telling you, it was like the biggest flex when I got it. I was like, I'm not telling her. I was like hiding it from my wife because I thought she was going to be like, what are you doing here? Right. And like, so I did, I like kept it over in the corner, and I had it, where, like I said, it goes off like at 2 o'clock in the morning or something, you know, and I would come out, I wake up at 5:40 and I would come outside and check to make sure it wasn't like stuck under her car tire or something, you know. For a long time I did that. And then she noticed it one day and she's like, that was actually really smart. Because I don't, when it starts getting like too messy in here, it kind of messes with my head. I've got to clean it up. And so that was like, that's been a big, it's clean enough all the time now where I don't even have to mess with it. So
That's nice. That's beautiful.
Now, Jason, you know it wouldn't get dirty if it wasn't a garage, right? If you actually had a basement gym and you weren't parking in it, you wouldn't have that problem.
You know, in Oklahoma, where I live, the water table is too high and the soil content, the moisture in the soil is too high. And so we actually don't have basements in Oklahoma, but we do have pedophiles. So maybe that correlation that I made earlier was
So in Oklahoma, the pedophiles are in the garages then.
Yeah, well, they're evidently they're not in the basement, but
Nice.
Sweet. All right. So we're going to start off with a true or false segment. Jake's going to make a statement and you let us know with whatever you brought, whether you think it's true or false. We'll tally up the results and then we'll have a quick discussion on each topic.
All right. Number one, I would choose Rogue over Rep to fill my home gym if I could only choose one.
Eccles, which are you holding
Yeah,
up? They're both showing up.
Which one is
trying.
that? False.
I'm trying.
Oh,
All
I
right.
see.
All right. 3 trues, 1-1. 1-1. Yeah. And yeah, so Rogue is the winner here with this group. Do you guys have anything to add to this?
So we just have to ask Eccles, why? Like you are the outlier. What's the reasoning?
Just like everything that Rep is coming out with now, and just to know that everything is going to adapt, everything's going to go. If I have the chance to get all the stuff, I want to make sure everything's, all the nice same colors, all the same stuff. I think Rep's just done a great job at bringing out new products right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to counter that, I kind of took this question in its entirety. And so I love the Rogue barbells. I love the deep dish plates. So I'm looking at everything, not just, racks and accessories. And the true 3x3 versus the 2.95 that Rep is. That causes some people issues. It doesn't if you're going down, but if you're going up, it can. So that was kind of my approach with my answer.
yeah, man, I think that's a great answer though. I had this conversation with Gluck the other day, and I had I actually came back like 2 days later to talk about it more because I just kept thinking about what would I actually do. And I had landed on rep. In this particular one, I kind of went back and I was like, you know what? Got to stay true to myself. Rogue is always daddy, and I'm probably just gonna keep going. But even though I will not disagree. I believe that rep caters more to the they have a narrower market or whatever with the garage gym, and I think that they do a better job of catering to garage gymmers with stuff like the Athena and all the other. I mean, they do listen and they give the people what the people say they want, whereas Rogue kind of tends to like, we say we want this and they give us like mismatched socks, right? Or they tell us what they give us what they want us to have or something. But kind of like, Chip made a good point. It's in the entirety of the collection. I also realize that I'm kind of one of those people that like, I'm always going to want like the one that's just a little bit nicer or a little bit better or a little bit. And then ultimately with the racks, it's the I don't like the narrow width of the rep rack. So that's me.
What about you, Keith?
I pretty much agree with everyone that was on Team Rep. Mainly the barbells for me, I guess. Like, I haven't heard great things about bars, so I don't know. I have multiple Rogue bars. I hate their deadlift bar, but Rep doesn't even have a deadlift bar, so as a power lifter, like if I could only go with Rogue, I got to go with at least the company that offers one of everything: a squat bar, deadlift bar, power bar, ollie bar, whatever. Whereas Rep is more to just an entry level. I mean, there's some really nice rep gyms out there, but for me, if I had to build my gym out solely, it would have to go with a company with a bigger catalog.
All makes sense. Let's move on to number 2 then. True or false? Garage gyms are better than basement gyms.
That's all I know.
Oh man.
That's true. That's true. We did not put a bonus room in the options.
All right. Yeah.
Well,
This turned into multiple
Chip's,
choice.
I didn't see Chip's answer.
Said bonus room gym.
But his is north of a garage, so we got to call it a garage, I'd imagine.
But we had 2 falses, 1 true, and then like a 50-50 split. So basement gyms are the winner here.
Yeah, as they should be.
Absolutely.
Hey,
I
Jason,
think basement gyms are great.
Jason, tell us why garage gyms are better.
I just say that because it's the only thing I know. Yeah. I've never been to a basement gym. I would probably enjoy one if I had one. Just the same. I like what I actually thought this through before I chose my answer, and I was going to actually say basement gyms only because I've seen Brandon's gym and it has a toilet in it, and that's something that I would like to have in mine. But that's it. Other than that, I've never been inside a basement.
Damn.
So it's a soft true.
Yeah.
You've never been in a basement. Okay.
I mean, I as cultured as I like to think I am. So
they don't have tornado storm shelters out there or anything?
They do, yeah. Yeah, sort of. I mean, a lot of people have them like what they do is they'll either have like a room that's just built, it's just a big box basically in your garage, or it's sometimes they'll dig out into inside the garage, they'll dig out into the slab or whatever down inside it, and you can park over the top of it or whatever. Problem with those is that oftentimes what happens is if you get a water leak or something like that, or your house gets knocked down on top of it, you're like stuck down in there, and those are just like worst case scenarios. But with the tornadoes are kind of, and it's not to digress here, but tornadoes are, you can almost tell, I mean, they typically hit the same areas because of the way that the landscape is or whatever. So like, for example, near my home, the nearest mine that I would expect to see one touch down and stuff is going to be like along I-35 up in that area because the way, but so you can have them, people do, but you don't, I don't know. I've lived here for 42 years and I've personally not been close to one.
Famous
close enough
last
to one,
words,
so.
man.
I know.
You had a good run, man. You had a good run.
I do know people that have had family members and things like that, you know, I mean, you can probably cut this out. This is like horrible. So, but it happens, but it's not the way that it's made out to be. I mean, we do have like a season and stuff, but I mean, there's a reason why we all go stand on our trailer porches and watch them. You know what I mean? So.
Awesome. Well, all right, let's move on. We're not going to cut that, by the way.
Yeah,
I think a lot of us,
Good
that
stuff.
was, yeah, good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 3, I trust Titan Fitness.
Well, it's false on this one.
Sorry.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Wow.
It's kind of a tie. One is like a hardcore fuck Titan Fitness. But 2-2. Let's go 2-2. All right. Eccles, you are you're loaded with Titan Fitness.
Yeah.
Why
pretty
should
much
someone why should someone trust Titan?
Well, so when I bought all my stuff, so I kind of tempered my expectations right away. I hardly have anything that came from brand new from Titan. I bought most of my stuff off scratch and dent, so I already knew it was going to be scratched up. But I mean, usually scratch and dent, you save 20%, and I'm going to scratch it, dent it anyways. So I might as well just save the money because then I can buy more equipment. So pretty much everything I have in here is from Titan. So they've made a lot of money off of me.
What's a typical scratch and dent product look like?
You know, dings on the, like landmine attachments, dings on the sleeves, some chipping of the powder coat, maybe not the best weld. And we were talking the other day about the crappy stickers and the naming. So it's usually not stuff that's, you know, too terrible. I'm gonna scratch it up anyways, so might as well save some money.
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
I'll jump in on this one. I have a road rack now, but I bought the Titan T2 rack in November of 2014 when it was like Titan and New York Barbell were really kind of the two main options for 2x2 flat foot racks back then. And I got Titan before most people got Titan because one of the legs that came, the weld, like the bracket where it bolted to the back rear cross member wasn't straight. And so it took like 7 to 10 days for them to get a new one shipped out. But I lifted on that rack from 2014 to 2020, so 6 years. I'm not a big guy, but I mean, I hit a lifetime PR of 350, twice my body weight on back squat in that rack. I never felt worried about it. With that said, I love my road rack, but if things hadn't worked out the way they had, and I was still squatting and benching in that, I wouldn't be worried about it at all.
I take this one as, do I trust Titan Fitness to send me a really good product, not fucked up out of the box? No, I really don't. Do I trust Titan Fitness products to not break on me? Yeah, probably. I also have the Titan T2. I actually, it doesn't get a lot of use. It's my third rack that just kind of, whenever we need it's the only rack that I can use that you can squat facing out. Everything else faces the wall. So like the vanity in me has to use it every now and then to see my quads when I squat. So it's the only reason I still have it. I actually bought that. My buddy bought that brand new. It came with one of the cross members crimped a little bit, so I think he got a full refund, and they didn't take it back, so he sold it to me for like $100. So I've had that. That was actually one of my first pieces I got in 14, 15, something like that, same time frame. It's also seen at least a 400-pound squat from me and 500-600-pound squats from other people, but you know, it's piece of shit. It's, you know, very light duty. The J cups suck. I don't love it. You know, I just picked up a Titan trap bar for essentially free after I sold the other piece I bought with it. I've used it I've only had to use it once though, but it seems okay. But the sticker was literally as crooked as it could be. It was like a 45-degree angle. Like, I don't understand how that's possible to put a sticker on that crooked. So if you trust to put a sticker on properly, no. Are you gonna die under their products? Was it Titan or Rep that had the safety straps?
It was Titan. It was Titan.
Yeah. So
I had those safety straps.
Oh man.
So for that, maybe as an outlier, but for the most part, like I know a lot of people that can, you know, lift a lot of heavy weights in Titan equipment, but you know, unless you're on a budget, I would avoid it.
I'll explain my answer a little bit. And I will say that I could have gone either way with this. It might have been one of those, if it was a multiple choice or something, I might have said I need more information. For me, do I trust Titan Fitness as a consumer? Sure. I trust that Titan Fitness is going to be, for me, like the gateway to whatever the good version of that product is. Like whatever it is, I'm going to get it. It's going to be a little bit wonky, and it's going to be just enough to let me know that I will spend the money on the Kabuki version or the Rogue version or whatever it is. And I will be happy with whatever I get. And my costs, my out-of-pocket losses and stuff are going to be minimized because Titan is that inexpensive, right? I do trust that, like, if I have a problem with the product, whenever I receive it, customer service is going to be good. They're going to give me, if it's like a scratch and dent thing and it was supposed to be first quality, they'll give me 10% back if I want, or they'll give me a complete full refund. They'll replace it. They'll give me options for those kind of things, right? I know, and I can trust that. I've had enough experience with that stuff to know that that is what to expect from Titan. When it comes to business practices or things like that, I have a little bit of a unique situation with Titan that emotionally, I'm just not ready to get there and say, like, yeah, I trust them. You know, I had a product that I had out of my ass, I kind of pulled out of my ass and came up with. I was posting pictures of it, videos and stuff, and showing off to all my buddies. They came to me, said that they would like for me to send them the product. They would like to check it out. I spoke with them on the phone. We had kind of like this gentleman's agreement type thing. About, you know, because I asked him, like, straight up, like, please don't fuck me. I mean, I don't, you know, I was like, I don't know any other way to say this, but, you know, you guys have a little bit of a reputation, and the guy that I spoke with, I'm not going to mention his name or anything, but, you know, we discussed it to where I felt comfortable enough where he was like helping me understand the process really well. He was, you know, this is how we do it. These are the things that we do. It's okay. You don't necessarily need to get this. What I would recommend is you send the product in. I'll send you our version of it. You can have that for free. We'll take yours, we'll evaluate it. And then if we can make it, then I think you should move forward with getting, you know, your patent and this and that and whatever. And I kind of went against my better judgment, but he did say, and I also at the time thought that I was going to be spending like thousands of dollars on a patent or something, right? I didn't know enough. And this is a lot of my fault, but the question is whether or not I trust them. And so anyway, I go through this process, and for months and months and months, I'm getting emails, and we're going back and forth, and I'm getting stuff like, and I've got the emails like, yo, we really like this product. We believe that we can sell it for this. We believe that we'll be able to ship it for that. We would like to name it the McKee GHD. We would like to do this. What? You know, yeah. And so I'm like, this is pretty fucking sweet, right? And I've shared it with like 2 people along the way, even though I wasn't supposed to. But I'm the whole time I'm like, this is going to be this. You know, it's not anything that I ever anticipated. Like, I'm not an inventor. You know what I mean? I'm not somebody that comes out and like with products or anything like that. I'm just a dude, and I'm just a man who parks in gym. You know, I'm just a dude that, you know what I'm saying? That just I like building stuff or whatever, you know? And so anyway, it was kind of a cool thing. And I even thought like, man, if I never see a dime on this, it's still pretty cool. You know what I mean? And so I sent him an email once I received it back, and we talked about how the pricing or how the pay structure works. I told him that I would like to continue the conversation, and he came back and said, well, as soon as you get the patent, let me know. So I got the patent. I sent him an email. He didn't respond. I thought that was I didn't want to be like overly like eager beaver. So I waited a few days, sent another email, and then their floor GHD came out, which looked surprising. I mean, I know it looks more like someone else's floor GHD, but what stood out to me was that the thing they were most excited about with mine was the footprint when it's in storage and how it's stored upright, right? Which is really fucking similar to the thing that they put out. So they released that thing, and then almost like within a few hours, I get a response back to my request saying, oh, sorry, I'll give you the final answer, but because of our release of our floor GHD, we're afraid we may have too many GHDs. We're still evaluating it, but we'll let you know. And I'm like, well, this feels really fucking shady, you know? And I could be, you know, again, all the evidence suggests that maybe I shouldn't have trusted Titan. And I'm still in this kind of emotional state with it. where when you ask me if I trust them, I'm like, fuck Titan Fitness. You know what I mean? Like I've got a couple of products from them, and it really has, and I'll continue to buy whenever I have to, I suppose, you know what I mean? But I don't, as in that light, I don't trust them. So fuck Titan Fitness.
It's understandable, man. That's understandable.
Yeah, it's cool.
Jason, would you have been upset if they still didn't give you any credit, but they called it the McTitan GHD?
I mean, you know, I feel like that is not too far away from some other experiences that I've had. Maybe not with something as big as Titan, but I have, you know, I have to, with social media in general, especially in this space, I have to like step back and take a breath and kind of remind myself of why I'm here and what I'm doing. I mean, like for me, a lot of this is like, it's about what I miss from the commercial gym is that sense of like community or camaraderie, even though some of the people I never spoke to, and I'll be honest, there were some, like there was one guy in my mind, I never said it to his face, but I remember like, I'd see him and I'd be like, oh, there's old pillow tits. You know what I mean? Like always here, it's like, you see the same people and like, sorry. But I do miss that, like human interaction and some sense of community, even in the gym with people that I never spoke with. And that's kind of what I get from social media and Instagram and garage gym community and that stuff. Even though, regardless of whether or not everybody thinks I'm an asshole or not, that's something that I do get from it. And I have to remind myself of that whenever I see those kind of things and I start feeling this kind of bitter resentment, like I deserve credit for that thing or this or that or whatever. So like the McTitan GHD thing, on one hand, it would probably equally have pissed me off, but at the same time, you know, what are you gonna do? I guess I could, I don't know what it is about credit on Instagram, social media stuff, but it will eat away at you sometimes.
I get your cloud up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the story a couple months ago when Gordon Briley was on here and he was talking about Titans starting to sell their stealth leg press. So he had to tell him that dad was a patent attorney, so they started paying him.
Right.
Yeah, so he actually had helped me a little bit in answering some of my questions. I didn't give him the specific details about what I was working on, but I started getting this feeling that I was getting screwed. And so he helped me, he kind of calmed me down a little bit when he was like, well, you know, this is my experience, you know, it takes a little bit longer because of this or it's that, whatever. I was like, oh, okay. Because I just, you know, it felt that, but yeah, I did reach out to him and it was a similar, I heard that after I had gone through this stuff and I was like, I can relate to that actually.
Well, Jason, let me ask you this. First of all, amazing story. That does suck, but that is an incredible story. Truly. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. If anybody will believe it, I could just make those up.
Let me ask you. So that was crazy. So you say you have the patent, right?
Well, so what I have is a provisional patent, which
right.
just basically, so Kyle kind of touched on this in a different podcast, but with a provisional, basically you submit your idea, you pay a few bucks and that gives you, so it's for like, it's when you can put like patent pending on something, right? And so the idea behind it is that you can put this on there, you get your date of when you invented it or whatever, and then it gives you the opportunity to kind of test the market, test the feasibility of the product and sell it and see if there's enough return on it to go through with the full patent process.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. So I have, but it has a 12-month expiration date, right? So by the time I didn't want to get the patent or the provisional and then send my thing and then it'd be like them just sit on my product for 5 or 6 months. And then then I only have a couple of months to go through the rest of the patent to determine whether or not the return is enough on it. You know what I mean? Like when I had first talked to Titan, they were like, most of our stuff is not patented. And so my thought process was, you know, if anybody's going to fucking steal it and like make a copy of it, it's going to be Titan. So I might as well just sell it to Titan, have them make it, no one's going to undersell them, and nobody's going to, you know what I mean? Like nobody that's going to remake it is going to, I mean, my biggest concern, honestly, was that they weren't going to make it as well as I did. Like it was just going to be this Titan version, like shitty padding or you know what I mean? Like, or like the gateway, you know what I mean? It's
right.
But and that was my bigger concern. But at the end of the day, I was like, you know what, man, it'll be cool enough. It's something that I think garage gymmers would really be able to benefit from. So I thought it would be something cool to.
Well, that's what I was going with. I wouldn't quite give up on it. I think that's your model is definitely a better option for most than what Titan ended up bringing to the market. So, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't give up on it quite yet. So.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's cool. And we can run a poll too. We can kind of put Titans next to what you've got as well to see what people would like if you have any interest in that. That might be some cool data, actually. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, that was a story we did not expect.
Sorry. That was your 2-hour story there. Like, sorry, guys.
No,
I think we might be done now.
I think anything you said is going to surprise anyone that knows anything about Titan, though.
Yeah.
No. And everybody's going to be like, what a dumbass. You know what I mean? Like in hindsight, sure. But I mean, again,
Bro,
I was kind of
don't feel bad, man. Like
I was kind of in this mindset where I was like, I don't really care. I didn't do this to make money. You know what I mean? Like I really don't care at the end of the day. And then after a few months of, you start getting this, this could be really cool. But whenever you just, I don't know, man. Yeah. It was
honestly, I would have done the same thing in that situation. And especially if they're coming across as like, hey man, we want to do this legit. Like we're, you didn't tell this part of the story. I don't mean to rat you out, but you posted you posted it before you applied for a patent. So they very well could have seen your post.
Anybody could have.
And applied for their own patent and not gotten in contact with you. So them getting in contact with you gave them legitimacy. So you're like, exactly. maybe I can trust them. And if they're communicating with you like you can trust them, then that gives you that sense of security. So I don't fault yourself. I totally would have done the same thing.
And I honestly, I really don't think that anybody ever, I don't think that any of them that I have spoken with or anything ever set out to do that. I don't think they were ever trying to be deceptive. You know what I mean? I think that once they got it in, once they did all this stuff, they probably thought, we could just update ours. The Floor GHD thing is something they had a long time ago, and they were doing an update on it anyway. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were just like, we could just integrate these ideas into our existing product and save a whole bunch of money. You know what I mean? Like that makes sense to me. All that stuff makes sense. It just felt, I don't know, disappointing, I guess.
Yeah, that is disappointing. And I honestly don't have too much communication with Titan at all, but like one message that I've heard loud and clear from them is that they claim to not be the old Titan. Like it's not the Titan that just used to get, send crappy material. They've been improving everyone they have a whole new team, a whole new process, etc.
Yeah.
This is the type of stuff they need to do if they really want to win home gym owners over, rather than just they want to win the community over rather than just those who want the cheapest product. So I don't see why they wouldn't. So hopefully that's not over. But all right, we ready to move on?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, number 4. Space is the biggest issue I face as a home gym owner.
That's true.
4 out of 4 true.
So the one I'm most surprised about is Chip, because Chip, I've seen your gym on Instagram. You have a ton of open space. What are you talking about, man? Like you want to add more stuff. You have plenty of room, right?
So space being the biggest issue is the fact that I'm upstairs. Right. Okay. So I can kind of take you guys through this a little bit. We custom built this house. And last year, 2021, it's been almost a year we've been in the house. And we actually looked at doing a basement initially, but it was going to be ridiculously well above our budget. Just couldn't happen. So I worked with the builder, worked with the structural engineer, decided that the engineered I-beams that are the 2x12 engineered I-beams that are normally 16 inches on center for the bonus room. He added a few extra of those to go every 12 inches to make the entire room stronger.
Mhm.
Now, that still doesn't mean that I can bring in a rhino, and, another 1,000 pounds of milled York plates. Those are in storage, unfortunately. Like, I've still got to be conscious in my space being upstairs. So from a space standpoint, I'd love to be able to have a basement, or a dedicated garage space where I could just literally just pile as much stuff as I can into it. But that's one of the luxuries that I give up by going with the climate controlled, finished bonus room.
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
They do have climate controlled storage facilities, Chip.
That's true.
This is true. That's true.
Yeah.
It's okay if you guys don't have anything else to add. Go ahead.
I do. Sorry, I'm a talker, man.
It's good.
I went back and forth with this one because I don't know if the problem is that I have a limited space or if I have this inability to stop buying shit and to pack into my space. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I don't know what the problem is, but one or the other, true.
Right. Yeah. When you have a bigger space, you just like, oh, there's an empty spot in the corner. I got to buy something to fill that up. And then all of a sudden you're out of room.
Yeah, garage jams are like untattooed flesh, right? You just look at like a bare spot and you're like, oh, I
Right.
gotta fill that in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
goes-
I just have an 11 by 13 basement bedroom that I have all my stuff in. So
That's awesome.
I bought a bike to use for cardio, and that's sitting in the bedroom closet. I'm pretty much bought everything that's rack attached just so I can have somewhere to store it so it's off the floor. Hopefully soon is to build a shed in the backyard. Huge shed, I hope.
Nice.
Once again, the bigger the space, the more stuff you get, and
Right.
Yeah.
probably run out of space again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many square
Yeah.
feet you thinking, Eric?
Like 350, 400,
Nice.
somewhere around there.
Nice.
Keith, what size is your basement?
So it's 1,000 square foot ranch, and I'm probably 600 to 700 at gym. I mean, the stairwell's coming down in the middle, kind of cuts a little bit of that off, but I kind of have it
Yeah.
segregated off to like the deadlift platform, treadmill. There's a spot that I just have. I have a 100 square foot ish of actual 3/4 inch. Everyone hates them, but the puzzle mats. But I don't need saw mats everywhere where I know I'm just doing like yoga and stretching and shit. So, but yeah, as far as space, I could fill up 7,000 square feet if I had the space. I would just keep continuously growing it. The whole thing is when I have multiple people over, even in that space, I can comfortably do 4 or 5 people. I mean, we regularly do 3 people with like 0 issues of space. I semi-regularly do 5 to 10 people, and when it gets closer to 10, it's pretty full. But like I would love to just be able to regularly house 10 people and not have any issues. So I would, and with the big negative on the basement though is I'm right at 7, maybe even I'm like an inch under 7 feet. So
Yeah.
I'm only 5'7", so I can still overhead press, but it limits me on if I buy a $2,000 rogue rack, I got to cut a foot of it off. Or right now I'm just dealing with squat stands. So that's my go-to right now.
I mean, that's the nice part about having a newer house. I'm in a split level, so I still have 8-foot ceilings in the basement, and split level I have windows outside, so it's not an actual full dungeon. And then being the split level, I have railing all the way around the room, so I have unlimited drink spotters. So good.
Yeah, in a perfect world for me, I'd have it probably 1,500 square feet solely to the gym. Like realistically, what I could fill, because I'd like to get a couple hammer strength pieces of like the hammer strength ISO row would be like my favorite piece. If I could actually add a piece, but that's like a stall mat and a half, and I could give up my reverse hyper and then like intrude on my squat rack and another piece and like maybe fit one in there. But it's like I would be with as many people as we have down here. Sometimes it's nice to still have walking room too. So I could fit a couple more pieces, but then I lose any like yoga stretching areas, and it's just that's not ideal. But
Right.
yeah, I would love to have more space to fill it up. And well, like Jason mentioned earlier, as far as the good thing about basements is how Brandon has a bathroom. I would kill for a secondary entrance, like a walkout basement and a bathroom. If I had those, I would literally rent my gym out to like personal trainers and like just actually start making money on it. But I'm not letting strangers just come in and use my own bathroom and just use, come in through my kitchen to get to my basement. But those two things would be, if I had that, I could actually make money off the damn thing.
I'm laughing that you just use stall mats as a unit of measure.
Yeah, that's impressive. And nobody stopped him because we're all
we all did the math. We're like,
yeah, I'm
okay,
at
so
19.
It's
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That's funny. That's like a new thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Normalized stall mat mathematics.
Right. Yeah.
Whenever my gym is a little bit cleaner than it usually is, or there's a little bit of extra space, my wife is always just like, oh, this is nice. There's enough room to like walk through, and it usually just means I've made room for something else coming. So speaking of that, so number 5, true or false, you try to sneak equipment past your wife or significant other.
Present tense, or you have in the past?
Anytime.
Ever.
Ever.
I know someone. I have a friend who
Probably gonna listen to this one. So, but
yes,
Gotta come out sometimes. At some point.
It's false. That is false.
yeah, this is
Yeah.
false.
For those who are listening, for all the wives listening, all of the entire panel answered no. That's never happened. So
I got to jump in on this one first because I was talking to somebody about this the other day on Instagram. Actually, this was definitely pre-pandemic. If you ordered something, you knew when it was going to ship out, right? And so I pretty much had the schedule down of, okay, if I order from Rogue before 3:00, it's going to ship by this date. And because it's coming, UPS is going to deliver on this date. And my wife is a nurse. And so she's working 3/12s a week. And so I would just order strategically so stuff would be delivered on the days that she was at work. And she would never come in the gym and notice it.
man, that's really good planning, dude. Like that's hard to time it out like that. I give you credit. That's pretty amazing.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my wife works from home, so there's no way that I could ever just ship it home. So I work with my brother and I have to drive him every day. So I just ship everything to his house and bring it home and just wait till she's gone.
That's so
Put it
funny.
somewhere because she never comes in here, so she has no idea.
I'm not saying a fucking word, man.
Am I the only one laughing? That's hilarious.
You're just mad that
Can you make sure to edit that part out, please, Jake?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
None of this will be on the actual pod. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I
edit that
don't.
out.
Two things I don't trust is this conversation and Titan Fitness.
Well, it's the worst part is not this last 4th of July, but the one before, my brother's neighbor was over for the party and she had to tell my wife all about it. But
So you've already been busted.
yeah, but does that mean I stopped? No. Like
Fun fact, he actually he was in the 2nd episode of Do You Even Lift Bro? I read this story anonymously to keep his anonymity and to protect his safety. And bro, I can't help you when you're on camera just spilling the beans, man.
You survived.
I almost got caught once because there was a bunch of packages in our garage with my brother's name on it.
Uh-huh.
Like, what's all this? I'm like, oh, I just ordered a bunch of Christmas presents under his Amazon account and all this. So then I had to go out and buy a whole bunch more Christmas presents. No.
I guess it's just foreign to me. Like, does your old ladies not do anything with your finances? Like, how are you, like the 3 of you all together, like, how are you pulling this shit off? Like I did. So my wife handles the majority of the finances. So like I couldn't sneak anything by if I wanted to. But to get into why I said false as far as mine, like 80% of my gym was bought, 80 to 90% probably all used, just cash based that I've made either. I have a deal with my wife that anything I make over my 80-hour 2-week check is my money. So if I work 10 hours overtime, I get 10 hours of cash to myself. If I work out of town and I make a bunch of per diem and I don't spend it like an asshole, then I get to keep that per diem. If I work a side job, if I flip a bunch of weights, all that's just, we don't have kids or anything, so I don't feel obligated to put that back into the family budget. So everything over my 40-hour week is my money. And I've, amassed a little bit of, a nest egg that I just buy everything that I want with. So I couldn't hide it. And even if I did, I'd still have to use, a credit card or, a bank statement to do it. So how are you guys hiding this shit from your old lady? It blows me away. I can see if you have cash and you go buy something to the side, but she's gonna be like, why did you take $800 out of the ATM? Like, how are you guys agree with this?
One of my degrees is a finance degree, so I control all the money. So
That's how you do it. There you go.
and like I was saying the other day, when I bought most of my stuff, I bought everything all at once, and all the sites now have the no interest monthly thing. So if I was only paying $50 a month, that always goes unnoticed.
That makes sense.
Versus $1,000 at a time,
Yeah, I've incriminated myself enough in this piece of conversation.
I know I wanna ask you and Jason, but I forgot you guys held up the false signs because you've never done it before.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Only
Exactly.
one. Yeah.
What about you, Jake? You ever have to sneak stuff in?
Oh, no, not anymore.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's not like an impressive thing. It's like, oh, more gym equipment.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and I'll be honest, my wife, she doesn't really care. Basically, we've got a joint account, and then we kind of have our own personal accounts where part of our paychecks go into. It's kind of our fun money. Do whatever you want to with it.
Mhm.
And so, I kind of embellished that story a little bit, not entirely, but it's like, it's your money, do what you want with it. But when she's trying to figure out, okay, well, we need to go do this. We need to do this for the kids, or we need to, we got medical bills for the kids, or they had to have, tonsils taken out or whatever. She's looking for that extra cash. And it's like, well, I've kind of got some off to the side here, but, and again, this has been a couple of years now. There's a lot more transparency and a lot less grief about it. So that's kind of nice.
I mean, for me, it's not the money issue stuff. It's mostly like, it's just the fucking volume, man. Like, have you seen how much shit I have packed into this? And so it's like, it's more like it just feels like judgment. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck, man, I have a package coming today. So, that kind of a thing. It's like how much, even when the UPS guy brings a package and he says, you've got another one from Rogue U. And then he hands it to me and says, like, don't you have everything by now? And I'm like, I lied to the UPS guy once. And I was like, yeah, they pay me to test this stuff out.
Well, it's weird that my wife really shouldn't give me too much grief. She really shouldn't give me too much grief about everything because, Amazon, comes daily. There was one point where the Amazon guy didn't stop at our house and he came and knocked on the door to make sure that everybody was okay.
So to add to the wife guys, how many of your guys' wives use the gym that you guys have?
My wife has just started recently using the stuff, and it's for me, man, it is the coolest thing. Like, I tell her she'll come out and work out alongside me, not doing the same workouts or anything, but she'll do her workout and I do mine, and I will make it a point to tell her, like, I really do appreciate you using the stuff and being here and stuff. Like, it's cool, man. We'll turn on like Lifetime or whatever on the TV, and watch. I don't care. Like, I really do enjoy spending time with my wife, and I like doing this, and I feel sometimes a little guilty about how much time I spend on myself, doing my own like self-care stuff in the garage while she's, taking care of the kids or whatever it may be. So even like on days where I get my workout in before she gets off work or something, I'll come out here and like piddle around and just kind of hang out with her, and I'll set up like the barbell and stuff like that for her to do her squats and stuff like that. She's a little bit intimidated by some of the stuff in here, you know what I mean? Like, where is everything and what do I need and whatever. So she's mostly like dumbbells. But I really do enjoy having her out here using the stuff, and I've got everything in and kind of in place now where I don't have worry so much about sneaking something else in and her noticing. So we're all good there.
Yeah, my wife doesn't use it at all, but I've been trying to get my daughter in here to work out with me. She's 8, and she'll do a little bit of stuff, Right after I bought the exercise bike, second day she was on it, she went for an hour.
Oh, wow.
I was like
Wow, nice.
8 years old going for an hour. I'm like, yes,
Dang.
sweet.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, I have a hard time, man. It makes me feel like such a terrible dad when I like it if my kids come out here and just like sit and watch Scooby-Doo or something while I work out. But most of the time they're like fucking with shit. And I'm like, I can't really get a workout because I'm watching them out of the corner of my eye. If my wife came home and I was like picking up kettlebells off my child's foot or something, you know what I mean? Like that would, so I'm kind of a helicopter dad, especially out here. I have a fucking lawnmower hanging from my ceiling. You know what I mean? It's just not exactly the safest place for kids, but you know, so I always kind of like, when I see those people on like social media, they're like, I just love working out with my kids. I'm like, do you? You know, like, am I the bad one or are you full of shit?
No, I'm with you, dude.
Man who parks in lawnmower storage room.
Yeah, you know that the on the positive side of that name is I get to be like man who anything after that. You know what I mean? Like I get to use that and change it up quite a bit to fit any scenario.
Do you ever actually change it on Instagram? You can have like your Instagram name, and then you can have like the name that you display. You could always just switch that up to fuck with people.
I don't know that. I don't know how to do social media, man. I'm like, I think November is whenever I started this process. So I'm like, I tried to stay away from it forever. I tried to age gracefully technologically. And the COVID has really fucked me over.
You should just change your username to man who gets products stolen by Titan Fitness.
And then is still willing to buy from them, which I can't. Yeah, I really hope that you don't actually like. That's have you actually bought anything since then?
No. There's actually only, but I would. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said. From a consumer perspective, I trust them just fine. It's the other stuff that I have to separate. There's only one company that I will not purchase anything from, and I'm not even. Charlie Foxtrot Tango. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Got you.
Yeah, and it's really just I had bought something. It wasn't that big of a deal. I sent an email and I was like, hey man, I bought this thing. I bought like 4 or 5 of them or something like that. And they were all different links. And I said, hey, is this normal? I mean, is it, it's not, I checked the website. It doesn't mention anything about them being like a 1/4 of an inch difference between them. And I just got berated, like in response immediately talking about my OCD and my this and that, whatever. And I was just like, what the fuck? He was, it doesn't harm anything except for your OCD and stuff. And I was like, well, it might actually harm your ability to get like repeat sales. I was like, but I was like, it really wouldn't be that hard just to add, because I had responded to an automated request for like, it was like, tell us what we can do better. And I was like, well, you could maybe just disclose that on the website. It's not that big of a deal. Like I can put washers, it was the weight pegs or whatever, I can put washers behind them and you won't ever see them and they'll be the same length. But when you're using them for other things or whatever, I mean, it just would be nice. I don't like surprises whenever I buy products, you know what I mean? And that's really what it came down to. But the attack and then the bullshit and it was like back and forth, and it was really it like consumed me for a day. And I was like, man, fuck this. I don't need this. This is why I don't do the internet. You know what I mean? And so it's just one of those things that I see from time to time. They'll come up like in the community or whatever, and I'm like, I just kind of like step away from it. Or somebody will ask like, where can I get something like this? And I know, and I'm like, I just can't with good faith like tell this person to go to that place, knowing that if they have an issue, they're going to get fuck yourself to death like I did. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I've seen multiple screenshots of like correspondence between their emails, the customer service emails, and it's just I think it's a husband and wife, and they're just fucking being assholes to people, like they're trolls. It's the weirdest thing. And like I left a review on there that just described my thing, and they just went in and like changed it to a 5-star review and
and left my name on there. And I was just like, God damn it.
Wow.
You know, and I was like, I just can't
Wow.
win with this place. So, you know what I mean? I was like, the best thing I can do is just walk away and never say that name again. You know what I mean? So
Makes sense.
Am I the only one who can figure out who it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
It's CFT Performance, Jake. CFT? No
Okay,
idea?
yeah, we can move on.
Yeah,
Then,
right. Cut that whole.
Yeah.
Now that we, right.
All right. Anyway, if everybody's ready to move on, we
Do it.
have a few additional questions to deal with your personal experiences within the home gym setting. Once again, Jake is going to introduce the topic, and you will all let me redo that. Once again, Jake is going to introduce the topic, and you will all discuss. Once the conversation dies off, we'll move on to the next topic.
Number one, what's something you would have done differently if you could do it again when building out your home gym?
I'll go first then, I guess. So my answer, I actually had to think about this for a while. I'm going to say nothing. So like I said, this is home gym version 3.0, I guess maybe, yeah, technically. So this is my third home since I started my home gym in 2013. But when I first started, I went to Dick's Sporting Goods and picked up the classic 50 plus power blocks, the fitness gear, adjustable bench, some bands, medicine ball, a few other odds and ends. The perfect pull-up bar, if you guys know what I'm talking about, that goes in the door frame. And it's got like a mouse at the top, and you can lift it up and swing it down, so you can do like hanging rows and things like that from it. That was kind of my initial setup, and that was in the very like one corner of a spare bedroom in one of our old houses. And that was kind of what I started how I started my home gym, my first home gym. And I had that set up for almost 2 years before I bought my first Titan T2 rack at the end of 2014. And then from there, I just kind of kept building a little bit over time. And again, just the way it kind of naturally evolved with, okay, trying it out at home. Is this what I want? This is sure exactly what I want to do. Yes, it is. Okay, let's go. Let's build a little bit bigger. Let's build a little bit bigger. And then kind of in my, what I call my dream space at this point, you know, I have everything exactly how I want it. No complaints, but I wouldn't not skipped any of that process to get to where I am now.
Makes sense.
For me, it would be just getting into the finding if there's anything you ever think you're going to get into with like a niche, just don't wait until later. Mainly specifically, like, so I had just cap shitty plates and hex dumbbells, and for 3 or 4 years, and then I even bought and sold some York stuff for profits before I was like, oh well, okay, I really want to start getting just nicer, more accurate weights. It wasn't until I actually weighed all my cap plates and realized they were 43 to 47 pounds. I was like, what the fuck? As a power lifter, like, I kind of want to know, I want to be a little more accurate on what I'm lifting, especially, if you don't realize it, you could have all 47s on one side and all 40. I mean, you'd almost have to strategically do that to really screw it up. It's just math. You, like, statistically, it's almost impossible that all the heavy ones will be on one side and all the light ones will be on the other, but it's possible. You could, be very imbalanced pulling an extremely heavy deadlift and having it be 15 pounds heavier on the other side. So for me, it was just like, oh, okay, so I can just start buying these other plates and then get stuff that's within a couple percent, accuracy versus 5 to 10% with some of the other shit. So for me, mainly, as far as like what I would do different, is just get into my niches earlier, like get into York dumbbells, get into York plates, buy nice nice barbells just 5 years sooner. Like I had a shitty gym for 5 years essentially, and then it started getting nice. I wish it would have been cheaper if I started earlier and like not passed up on some deals on the used market of like, oh, well, I don't need this old stuff, but in reality, it's what I have now. So just, if there's something you want, don't wait to get it.
So don't buy Titan Fitness.
Oh yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Just to bring it on
I'm
back.
kidding. Like I said, I would buy Titan Fitness again if it made sense. Even still. So, for me, man, it's I say this a lot. I say I would do everything differently, or a lot of things differently. But ultimately, the biggest things is the orientation. So when I started this home gym thing, I was still going to the commercial gym, and it was really just, I was picking up bits and pieces. I had a wall rack, one of those folding wall mounted Rogue rack things. And so in my garage, there was only one space where I could put that and it be on studs and not be like in front of the electric panel or whatever. And the problem with it, so I put that on there and I just started everything kind of built around that. And the problem is that I'm really close to the garage door behind me, which is, it's okay. I'm just a little tight whenever I'm like loading and unloading plates on that side. Just a little bit of a pain in the ass that if I knew all the things that I know now, I might have put things in different places. But at the same time, it's kind of lended itself to this like enormous amount of space on that end of my rack that's given me room to put some bigger stuff in. Only other thing that I would probably change if I could is I would probably bite the bullet and go with Monster instead of Monster Light. And that's really hard for me to admit that. But the holes on the side of the rack, the 1-inch stuff, I mean, it's just, you can't help it. But you look, you watch Fig Jam, and even though he's wearing like hot pink shorts, all I'm looking at are the holes on his rack. You know what I mean? And so it looks better. It's easier to like get the pin in and all that stuff, like on the 1-inch stuff that I have. I just like it better. I wish that I would have done that instead of the Monster Light thing. But
So yeah, for me to go along kind of the same thing that Jason said with the orientation, when I did my basement, I laid plywood all the way across, and then I did the stall mats, but in the center of the rack, I did a nice sheet of sanded plywood, but it basically made it so the rack's staying where it's at. Otherwise, it's gonna look weird with the big sheet of plywood in the middle. So I have a lot of kind of wasted space on both sides. If I was able to turn the rack a little bit, I could probably fit some more stuff in.
right.
Yeah, that's probably the big one for me. And then yeah, if there was another one, 3x3 rack with the 1-inch holes, but I'm fine with the T3.
I want to add on to Eric's real quick. One thing I would do different, as someone who has friends come over and a lot of them pull sumo, I've never pulled sumo or regular, so it's never affected me, but my deadlift platform I built like everyone else, just a 4x4 center with, the remaining 2 feet on each side being saw mats. I kind of wish that I had actually, if I could rebuild it, I would probably only make the center 2.5 or 3 feet, because anyone that pulls sumo, it's slippery than shit on that, polyurethane top, to where I actually had to spend extra money recently because everyone was having a lot of issues and buy like a can of like aerosol texture, and it wasn't cheap, and I don't know how well it's going to permanently stay because it's already starting to rub off. So shortening the plywood portion of a homemade deadlift platform is something I would do different.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's actually the reason that I built my deadlift platform the way that I did, because in my old gym, I would pull deadlift, in front of the rack, but if I was using my trap bar, I was going off to the side of the rack on another section because the trap bar is more narrow. So just went with the solid sheet of rubber all the way across. It doesn't matter if I'm pulling conventional sumo, trap bar, whatever, like it's all the same.
That's smart.
All right. I think that's going to do it for that question. I have to pee. Does anybody else want to take a quick pee break?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
And then we probably got 20, 30 minutes left and we should be done. So.
Hour and a half. We got 90 more minutes. We're good.
Yeah.
This is awesome, guys. I'm having a blast. So Chip, I'm very curious of what you would do with your space if it didn't have a load bearing issue, because it looks like is your bonus room like 1,500 square feet, or is it only
No.
It's deceptive.
It's deceptive. Yeah. So that's all like perfect camera angles, for the ground. But so I'm trying to remember now. So I did the 8mm sport rubber tiles from American Floor Mats. I guess that's actually the one thing that I would have done differently. So what I figured out the hard way is no wall in a house is perfectly straight.
No, and no stall mats fucking straight either. But you obviously didn't go with stall mats.
Yeah, but I'd used these tiles before,
okay.
And they worked great in space that wasn't wall to wall. This is the first time I went wall to wall, and it was a pain to try to, like, every time I'd have it kind of almost straight on this one side, then it would be, there'd be gaps on the other side. And I've still got a few gaps. If you get really close, you can see it, but it's not anything that I can feel when I'm walking on it. But it's like 24 feet at the longest part, 22-ish, kind of closer to the windows. And then the flooring comes out 11.5 feet. And then I've got another maybe 6 feet past that. So call it 24 by 17.
Double my space.
Yeah, no, it's a great space. I can't complain about it at all. Like I said, the only challenge really is just that, and I'm sure that I could put more stuff up here and not have an issue, but I don't like to gamble that much.
I did have to do the math. It's like 408 square feet, so that's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, but it looks like there's a lot of open space too. So but I guess to get back to the whole, it's not load bearing in a lot of, it's not a concrete slab. So
Right.
You're concerned about you have shit in storage. Like, what can you still do in it?
Yeah,
I'm not trying to hijack. I know this might be a good for the podcast. So
no. So we're still recording. So Jake is a master at editing, so he can.
I'm not the master editor, but I think we should probably just leave this.
I was curious about Chip's space and what basically he would want to, what he would do if it wasn't weight restrictions, and what he will do with weight restrictions, I guess.
Right. Yeah. So a big thing for me was, I mean, I like to have a lot of open floor space, like around, I always make the joke, like that scene from Step Brothers, or like they make the bunk beds, or look at all this space, do so many activities, do so many activities.
I was just going to say that too.
Yes. That's that. I love that piece of it. So I really went with the approach of trying to have as much floor space as possible. The only real thing that I would probably do different if I had this exact same setup in a basement or in a garage is probably, I honestly don't know, probably a Rhino would be kind of a cool thing to add,
God,
but
I was trying to buy one of those today.
But yeah, they're so expensive. And I mean, I guess
they're like $4,000, aren't they?
I don't know. Last time I looked at them, they weren't that much. They probably are now.
They're 23. They're like 2,600 delivered to me. And I only know this. I'm not that big of I'm a nerd. But there was one on Marketplace that I was messaging the lady. I actually put my leg press up for sale today. So I was messaging this lady. I was like, I can come Monday. And she was like, that's great. And then a little while later, she told me she sold it for $2,000. So
here you go, Keith. The only thing that I would do differently if it was not upstairs, but it was on a concrete slab, is I'd actually be able to like semi-drop my deadlifts. I wouldn't have to like gingerly put down each rep.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that I worry about. Not really going through the floor, but I don't want to destroy the subfloor.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and on Facebook Marketplace, Minneapolis, just in the last weeks, a drop-in Rhino sold for $1,650. So
Ooh.
not bad.
That's crazy. Yeah, this was a standalone. I don't know how much she was. I don't know how much she would have taken for it. It was $2,000, and it was up there for a while. I had like a wild hair yesterday, and I like late last night, and I was like, I'm gonna send her a message and see or whatever. And so I started talking to her last night, and then today I posted mine to see what I could just kind of put a feeler out there. I was like, what would I need to get in order to make me move on this? And I started getting a little bit excited about it secretly, and then she sold it. So, whatever.
Hate that.
Yeah, it's probably for the better. I don't need it. I've got a leg press, man, and I have this. I can set up my weight stack thing and get what I need from it. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But
we need to get Hennessy to give everyone like a 40% discount on the squat max, and we can all have those.
I tell you, man, that's the one item. Like if money was not an issue,
that's what you would get.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
For me, like how tall? Like there's no way you could use it in a 7-foot basement, right? Like how tall is the platform?
It's well, I don't know about the new model. I know the rack mounted one, which they discontinued. That's actually kind of a sore subject for me because I would really like a rack mounted one. The rack mounted one had adjustable heights. I don't know about the new one. It might be fixed. Does anybody know?
Yeah. I don't know.
I think it is fixed, but I don't know.
Fixed, yeah.
I don't know what the height is. Yeah.
All right. Anyways, yeah, let's keep this rolling then.
Yeah.
What's your favorite item in your home gym that's not kind of one of the more basic items? So let's go, not a barbell, not the rack, not a kettlebell, plates, bench, or dumbbells.
So I took this question to kind of mean, what is one of your favorite items that's not a traditional gym equipment piece? And I've already mentioned my primary three, which are like the mini split AC, the drink spotter, and the Roomba. But to add to that, one of my other favorite items that's not a traditional gym equipment item is the lighting. Even though I don't have like great lighting in here, I did add a bunch. I just, man, I don't know if it's because I'm my aging eyes or what, but like I can't fucking see out here. Like I had, like there were times with before, like when I had like the Cerakote barbells, like a black barbell or whatever, I couldn't see the neural marks. I couldn't see, like anytime I was under it or something, you know, I can't see over here in these corners where it's a little bit darker. And so lighting for me is one of, I add those things, it brightens it up, actually like puts you in a better mood. And it's one of the things that really changes the whole like aura of the garage gym. I know a lot of people do like LEDs and stuff like that, but for me, it's just having some bright ass fucking lights that help me see shit, you know? So.
Jason, what are the lights that you have?
Oh, they're lame. I mean, they're just they're like these LED things that you plug into each other. I got them at Costco, and I just went like they were
long, they're long strips.
They're like, yeah, they're like long. I mean, they look like legit lights. I'm looking at them as if you can see them through my eyes.
Right, yeah.
But they just like mount to the ceiling, and you plug them into each other, and then plug it in, and you have a remote. But you can set them up so that they're on a timer and they go off. They're like censored when you walk in. So I don't have to turn I just walk out here and it just kicks on like I'm Lex Luthor or something. And then, and they're on a like 30-minute timer. So if there's no movement for 30 minutes, they'll turn themselves off. Pretty cool. Especially like in the middle of the night when you're taking the trash out, and I've got 3 that are like lined up on the way between my door and my trash can. And like, I just walk out and like one kicks on, and then I hit the other one and it kicks on, and like, you know, but, I went and bought like one, they're like $30 or something like that, 20 or $30. And I bought like one light at a time every time every time I went to Costco to kind of soften the blow a little bit. And now I have like 6 of them in here, plus the 3 lights that were already in. I mean, if the world was my oyster, I'd have those super cool, like honeycomb looking things. I think Adam has them, fucker. But like, if I could, I would have those also.
Things are on.
You know, right?
So I'll take the next one. I'll go next, I guess. So for me, this actually kind of ties in what we were just talking about a few minutes ago about, you know, having lots of open floor space. My favorite item that's not a traditional piece is the universal pulley system, high and low from Surplus Strength. Because of the way it's rack mounted, it's low profile. It doesn't take up any additional footprint in my gym. Super smooth. I love it. I know there's a lot of controversy about it. You know, some people think it's way overpriced, and some people, you know, absolutely love it. I'm one of those. I love it. I think it's well built. Jason's doing some good stuff over there, and just to be able to have it rack mounted, loop the cables out of the way when you're not using it, you know, that's my favorite piece.
Good answer. Yeah.
For me, the piece I like the most, I'm a landmine guy. It's like I use it all the time. You can hit everything with it, and got all sorts of cool, you know, landmine attachments from Titan, of course, linebacker, squat attachments, some gnarly handles, row attachments. You just get so much use out of it.
Is it a Titan landmine?
It is not actually, because when I was going to buy one, they weren't in stock. So the landmine I got is
From where?
Bolt Fitness Supply.
Bolt, yeah.
Out of Texas. They got a lot of cool stuff, but I don't want to pay all their shipping, so I don't get most of their stuff.
Yeah.
If I lived down there, I would have a bunch of.
Keith, what about you?
I'm going to cheat and mention 2 honorable mentions so I can get more bang for the buck. So I would go bench blocks, like, you know, the 2 to 3 board, or it's like a 1.5 to 3 board. You know, it's great for doing board pressing without having to have someone sit there and hover over you with you know, a variety of 2x4s. Deadlift jack. If you have multiple people lifting different weights, you know, you got someone going 130, 185, and someone going 600. It's a deadlift jack's, you know, irreplaceable. Also, even if you're just yourself, like, I'm not trying to roll a dead wedge under, or, you know, lift up a bunch of plates to, you know, add up 4 or 5 plates on each side. But my go-to, honestly, it's kind of a shocker, a standalone chalk bowl. Like, being able to have a dedicated chalk bowl that I don't have to, that's not in the way of anything. It's just kind of, it fits right underneath my stairs, kind of right around my block pull stands. So it's just dead space. So it just kind of sits there freely. stands alone. I have my my foam rollers kind of underneath of it, just filling up the empty void. But just being able to, it's just kind of like, that's how it's like, if everyone remembers Over the Top, where he turns his hat around and it's game time. So like me going to that fucking chalk bowl and just chalking up, you know, if it's either a hook grip deadlift or a big bench. Sometimes I'll have someone chalk my back on squat. It's just like, I always start anything that's like 85% and above at the chalk bowl. And then I kind of do my, like, you know, douchey walk over to wherever my big lift is going to be. And it's just like that I've had the, you know, honestly, I think the chalk bowl is one of like the second or third, like decent higher priced items I bought. I've had it. I had my chalk bowl before I had my competition bench, because it was just like, I used to train at one of my buddy's garage gyms on the side, and he had literally, it was a coat rack with an old protein bottle screwed to it, and that's what we just used as a chalk bowl. But I did the same thing there. I just did it with a $200 chalk bowl instead of a $11 chalk bowl. So to me, having a dedicated place for your chalk, you know, it's a must for any kind of powerlifting type gym.
I'm with you on all of that, actually. Every single bag. I don't care if you're deadlifting 135 pounds, man, or you know what I mean? Like the deadlift jack is great. I have I love Titan Fitness, right? And I've got the Titan chalk bowl on wheels, and I've told my buddies, like, I know it sounds stupid, but I can like wheel it around. You know what I mean? I just carry it along with me wherever I go, and it's pretty cool. And I'm with you on all of that.
Yeah, there's one other piece that I was thinking of too. Right outside the basement gym, I have not Culligan, but it's basically like one of them little water cooler 5-gallon jug thing. That's nice to have right outside the gym too. Fill up the water bottle.
That's one of those things I've told my wife I wish I had space for in here, is one of those like water things, and I would get like a subscription or whatever. I've got a freezer over there where we keep our food and shit in, but I don't know why the chalk bowl gets its own space, but the fucking water in the gym doesn't. But yeah, that's one of those things that I've always been like, man, I wish I had room. I've looked for, you know, they have those like short ones that you can put the water on, and I've looked for that kind of a thing, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on that. But
yeah, I got mine for free too. So that's
nice. You know, the finance guys are always the ones that are like, yeah, no, I paid off my student loans whenever I was 19, but you didn't start school until you were 20. Like, yeah.
On that one, Target pulled the Titan Fitness.
Yeah, I like it, man. I like it.
I ordered it. They kept saying it was back ordered. They emailed again, said back ordered even more. And then that same day I got the email saying it was back ordered. It showed up at my house. So then I just canceled the order.
Oh, wow.
It's already there.
Got an honorable mention for this category, wall control.
Oh yeah.
Storage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
And
call,
if you use
champ.
code MAT10, no, I'm just kidding.
I'm actually putting up some wall control in my gym as we speak. I mean, not literally right now, but like I'm working on that project right now. Super stoked. Inspired by Jason, by the way.
It's addicting.
Oh yeah. I've got it. I installed it in my garage, have all my tools hanging up now. And I have like a handful of panels for my basement too. It's going to be so nice.
Yeah, man. I've got panels that I bought the wrong orientation. So I've got like 3 of them that I'm like, where can I put those? And I still need the right ones that I meant to order. But yeah, man, that stuff is addicting.
Yeah, I think I've got 2 horizontal, 2 vertical. Probably need about 50 more.
All right. What's your favorite home gym hack or DIY project for the home gym?
For me, so I wasn't 100. So okay. My home gym hack, my favorite that I've done is probably a toss up between the home gym, like DIY hack thing, is the GHD or the side lateral. Side lateral kind of edges out just a little bit because I can leave it where it's at. I don't have to like put anything together. I just clip it in and go. It's attached to my weight stack and it's solid as fuck. And it looks like a piece that you would buy from somewhere. You know what I mean? As far as like a favorite hack or DIY for just home gyms in general, like outside of mine, I have 2 that I was kind of torn between sharing. First and foremost is like storage solutions. I think that for a home gym, one of the cool things about it, if you have that ability, or if you follow Kaizen DIY and watch his videos, he shows you how to make like DIY projects where you can kind of custom fit storage solutions in your space that'll not only maximize the space that you have, maximize your storage, but also kind of gives you like a custom level of fitment for your products to sit. And I think that's a really good home gym hack or DIY project for people to take on. It's also storage, like when you buy it commercially, like from Rogue or Titan even, it gets really fucking expensive for what it is. I mean, it looks nice, but it can really add up quick. And for most home gym owners, I believe that spending your money on like drink spotters or things like that is probably more important than the storage stuff. And then the other one, the hack that a lot of people may already know, and you guys may share this also, it's just when you buy something from Titan, just rip that fucking sticker off immediately. As soon as it comes in, it's crooked anyway, just rip it off. That's a hack. You're already, as soon as you post a picture of it or whatever, you're going to get more likes and follows and all that shit anyway. So
You got to slap a road sticker on it first.
Yeah, especially if you do, that's extra. But just removing it in general is already like adding street cred or Louis Simmons cred. So
I literally did that to my the Titan trap bar I picked up last week. It was in the background in one of my videos, and I was like, God damn, that sticker looks horrible. And that night, I literally got my little razor blade and I was scraping it off.
Yeah, I've done it with everything that has a sticker. I actually appreciate when they give me the sticker and not the like riveted on thing that I'm like, man, fuck, what am I going to do with that?
I would throw it out if I had to, I guess. True story. I with my GHD thing that I sent them. So I don't know if you guys have seen it, but the base, when I made it, I was just kind of being silly, and I joke around about Rogue being daddy. I think Bill Henniger and I are probably like the same age, right? So it's a little weird, but to me, it's funny. I'm sure on the internet it reads as creepy, but on my GHD thing, on the base of it, I painted it black, and to make it look more like commercial or whatever, I made like a template and I put Rogue on there, so it says Rogue. But when I sent it to Titan, I was like, fuck. I took one of the stickers that I had from a Titan product and I just slapped it over the top of the Rogue thing and mailed it into them, and I put it on there crooked. So I was like, they'll think it's their product. Maybe that's why they didn't. God damn, but it really is crooked.
Eccles, what about you? What's your favorite gym hack or DIY project?
I got two of the DIY projects. I mean, the dip machine, awesome. I still plan on retooling that and actually making it more viable. That's the nice part about Titan on the scratch and dent is you can just buy the lever arm brackets. They sell them 2 packs for like $60. So any type of rack attachment, you can just buy one of those. And if you've got the X3 or the T3, you can make anything fit to that, which is awesome. That's what I did dip and for the belt squat. And then the other one, after your guys' triad thing, my globe grip one here.
Oh, there it
that's
is.
nice. Yeah.
Careful. That's controversial.
Careful.
I have a saved message that said that I could make it. So I had an engineer from work. I'm in the process of actually making a steel version of that adapts to their pants. So
Nice. That's
Hey.
awesome, Joe.
Maybe they'll tag you in it or something. Maybe they'll post a picture and tag you in it or something. That's all you're looking for, right? Like, that's all I want.
no, I mean,
Yeah. Share me, like and share and subscribe, fucker. No.
I just want to have people message them like, what's this? How come, where can I find it? I'm like, no, you can't, because I made it for myself because I'm selfish.
Yeah,
That's fine.
yeah. That's pretty much all of my DIY things. People are like, can you give me a tutorial? No, that's Kyle. Yeah, Kyle's gonna have to give you that. I don't do those.
And then to add on the end there, my favorite hack, of course, is to make sure you send your equipment to someone else's house so your significant other doesn't find out about it.
That's a
That's
good
a
one.
good one. That is a
Nice.
good one.
For me, I guess I would at least give, I'll do the same thing where I cheat. So I'll do honorable mention. Everyone, build a deadlift jack if you're, build a deadlift platform. Also deadlift blocks, 4-inch deadlift blocks are very easy to build. But the thing I'm probably that's been the most beneficial is on a 6-post vertical storage. I've done it for, I've had multiple different racks. I've hacked together with some variation of a top post for my 2.5s. So I can actually go 2 pairs of 45s, a 25, a 35, a 10, and a 5, and then 2.5 on top. So I'm not marrying the 2.5s and the 5s together, because with OCD, that shit don't work. So everything's got to be segregated. And I do have an ample amount of 35s, and sometimes I like to actually have those on a rack too. So most currently, I had a shitty old rack before, plate tree that I had. It was just a plate adapter, so a 2-inch adapter that would go over a 1-inch peg, and I had it literally just like wedged into the top, and I just screwed right into it, and it was, and then I put a C clamp and a bunch of electric tape, so it had an actual stopper on it to be above the 45s, and I had that on my most recent Rogue plate tree also, and my buddy who's a welder was like, yeah, I can't have this anymore, so he literally spent a couple hours, and however long it took him to do it, and like TIG welded a professional one with like all solid steel, painted it flat black for me, brought it over, fits like a charm, and it looks like it's supposed to be there. I don't understand why very few companies come out with a 7 poster that's vertical, to where if I don't want to only have one post with 45s on it, and if you have 35s, you're kind of running out of places to put them.
Yeah, I saw that post. Looks really good what your buddy came up with. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. Like, why is that not on every single, vertical storage post?
Yeah, I have one where I initially got inspiration of it years ago in a picture. I was like, oh, that's awesome, and it's Maximum, I think. It's an older, I don't even know if it's a company anymore. So I stole the idea from them, if you will, like 4 or 5 years ago, and then I randomly picked one up in a deal. I think I had to drive like an hour to go get one, and now I actually have the originals. Other people may have done it also, but that's the one that I have. And now it's kind of funny that I have like the one that's probably from the 80s, I guess. It's probably late 80s. And the one that I've mirrored it after of just by seeing pictures of it in Facebook groups for vintage stuff.
Yeah, so for me, taking the hack route, I love leg rollers. Jason was talking earlier about 3x3 with the 1-inch holes, all 4 sides. The 1-inch leg rollers, they're very versatile. You can replicate a lot of different machines, almost different exercises with those, and get creative with it. So trying to create new ways to utilize those. Again, they don't take up much space. You can do a lot with them. There's a lot of different hacks that you can do. And then secondly, behind that is anything that I can come up with to use the surplus strength UPS with, that's not just like a lat pull down or a seated row. There's definitely a lot of cool ways that you can integrate that into your training that's beyond just a traditional lat pull down or row. So
yeah, it makes sense. And you have a legendary Instagram post with all your movements on the leg roller.
Yes,
pretty
yes.
cool. So
All right,
go ahead.
Which leg roller do you have? I know like Titan makes one.
Oh yeah, so I got mine from Rogue. So when I ordered the rack for the this upgrade and this build currently that I'm in, I went pretty all in on Rogue for a lot of stuff, not completely, but I kind of wanted to stay in the same ecosystem, so I went with the leg rollers from Rogue, and I mean they're great. But I think you can go Sorenex, you can go Titan, you could go Rep, whatever. I was thinking of the the GHD roller thing that you have. You use that a lot for like your ham curls. Oh yeah, yeah.
Like
so
that's
Titan. That's Titan, the one that I have, the glute ham roller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had that one from Titan, and they gave me the bolts that they gave me for the wheels were like an 1.5 inches long. So the wheels were like, anyway, if it had gone to anybody else, I'd have been like, there's no way that anybody could put this motherfucker together and it be like a functioning product. So you didn't have that issue with yours, I guess.
No, I bought mine in 2019, I think, or 2018. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
And I had some points, and it was like $34 shipped.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Couldn't justify $120 plus shipping from Sorenex at the time.
I will say with Titan, and not to digress here, but like the point system worked it for me. Someone like me, the points thing, I'm like, I've got to buy shit from Titan because the points, and I will do that. So that taking that thing away was a big deterrent for me. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
I probably had a lot of free discounted using the points for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah.
But to one more little hack thing, piggybacking off what Tip said. So I have the Rogue leg roller too, and they don't really list it anywhere else on the site except for the leg roller, but you can get the infinity mount retrofit.
Oh yeah,
So
somebody
to make
posted
it-
that the other day. Was that you?
It's probably me.
Yeah, I saw
so
that.
because you can use that for a bunch of other attachments, to go from 3x3 down. But if you don't know where to find it, you don't even know it's there. So
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's one of those things
leg
that's
roller,
it's buried in as like an add-on on like another
Mhm.
item, right?
yeah, it's
Yeah,
on
they-
with the
they-
leg roller. Made me think of
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
They do that with stuff I've noticed on their website. Like sometimes you just want to like take Rogue and like shake them and be like, look, call me, bro. I'll tell you how to fix this shit. But that's one of them.
Yeah, they're so successful that they just miss stuff.
They don't
like
give
that.
a yeah. They're like, yeah, we don't give a shit. It's kind of like the UPS discount that they give. Like somehow they're able to say, you know what, we don't give a shit. It's cheaper for us to just give you a little bit of a discount whenever UPS delivers your shit all scratched and dented and whatever, than it is for us to upgrade our packaging, which they have done. I get that, but like that's what it feels like sometimes. You know what I mean? When you get something that's not taped, you get like a box that's not taped or whatever.
So I've got a story about that, and this I had conversations with guys around this situation, and it still blows my mind. I can't comprehend their business model. So when I made my order, I selected the bright zinc bolts because I knew, the standard, the black zinc, it looks scratched up when it shows up, like it looks used. And I wanted to go bright zinc for everything. I thought it would pop with the green rack, and it does. Well, they somehow didn't get it correct on the order, and they shipped me a box of the black zinc bolts. And so I reached out to them, and they fixed it pretty quickly. I mean, it was like the same day or the next day. They shipped out another box. Now, I don't know if you guys, everybody knows, but the bolt kit for an RM6, it's like 60 pounds of bolts. I mean, it's huge. Shipped me out another box. Well, that box got damaged in transit. And so it was bright zinc, but I was missing bolts. And I broke it down, figured out exactly how many I was missing, reached out to them, sent an email, said, I just need, 3 of the 4 3/4 inch bolts. I need 6 nuts. I need 3 washers, whatever it was. Checked the shipping. They shipped it out. A couple of days later, got home, another full box, 60 pounds of bolts.
Jeez.
So I think through one of the Facebook pages, shipped out the black zinc bolts to somebody. They bought them from me, and I shipped out another set of 8 or 12 of the bright zinc, and I've still got probably 20 sets like in various storage places in my garage. It's insane. Wow. But it's like, how much do they spend on shipping for those 2 more boxes plus the cost of the bolts? Like, when they could have just shipped out one package for like 6 of them.
Yeah, you feel like they have to be saving in somewhere, right? You're like, they have to be saving somewhere to be able to afford that, for that to be like the okay. Like, well, we'll just take a loss on everything that we ship out. It seems like, I don't know, but
it's probably just the fact that if they needed to do a special box, that they're paying someone $20-25 an hour to go make that box, versus let's just literally automated. This is just a code that shows up on some hourly person that doesn't really give a shit about their job, and they just know to pick this material that's already on a shelf and ship it, versus if they had to actually custom put 6 bolts in a box, that would cost them more money to pay someone a half hour to figure that out.
Well, that makes sense too, because I had one of my original leg rollers was damaged, and so I reached out to them, and they shipped me out 2 more because I'd ordered 2. They just duplicated my original order.
Wow.
Yeah, I just think it's
and those things are like $120 a pop, man. I'm like,
yeah, it's crazy. Some of the stuff, man, I get, and I'm like, this is crazy that they didn't even put tape on this box. But
the last box came, it was, I mean, you couldn't see much cardboard.
Like, yeah, that's when they replace something, oftentimes I get it and it's like Gorilla taped or whatever, and I'm like, oh, okay, so they do have a guy with a fucking tape dispenser. They just aren't using him on the first round. It's like they're rolling the dice. But like the slinger stacks, they come, I'm guessing they come like fresh off the boat or whatever, right? Like from China, and there's 5 10-pound plates in a box. Whether or not it has tape on it, whether or not there are plates in the box when you receive it, that kind of a thing is a little bit up in the air, but you wait about 16 weeks to get it. And then you get like partial stuff, and then they have it on hand. And whenever they replace the stuff that didn't make it, which is usually like the weight plates, you get then like a stack of 5 all covered in duct tape. It looks almost like that brick you would expect to see like through your window when you piss off your ex-girlfriend or whatever. But probably the brick I'm going to see from Titan after they, I don't know if they listen to this or not, but anyway, that's how those things show up, and everything else too. It's a weird business model for sure.
So, I mean, I worked at UPS for 12 years, so I kind of know a lot that goes in with the shipping, and I know what the normally hourly people, what we do to packages. So
Well,
that is any surprise.
I mean, I've never worked at UPS, but I've received a fuckload of packages, and I can tell you that every single one of them have been like mishandled by the UPS guys. But you know that, right? Like everyone knows that. You don't have to work there to know that. Rogue knows that. If anybody knows that, Rogue could put some tape on the box. You know what I mean? I think we've all had enough packages. It's worse than Titan half the time. I mean, it's gotten better. I will say that. Like things I've gotten more recently, a lot of the stuff I'm like, oh, like I bought that fucking T-bar row. I love it, man. Everybody else thinks it's stupid, but the little T-bar row thing, it came really well packaged. Like I should be bragging about how well their packaging is now. But others, it's kind of hit or miss, I think. I mean, the lap bars and things like that, they don't have tape on the box. And that's not UPS's fault. I mean, I'll give credit where credit's due. You don't put tape on a box. I assume that once I hand it off to the person at the counter at UPS, that's the last time it's going to get touched by a person. You know what I mean? Until it's like delivery. It's probably just going through conveyor belts and all that shit. So when you're packaging it, put tape on the box.
Jason, is that T-bar row a bolt together, or does it come like a squatty potty where it's like 1.5 feet tall?
It's bolt together. The only one I know of that's welded is the Elite FTS. Which is cool. I mean, Titans is like a knockoff of the Elite, but the Rogue, it's just better, man. It's better than the Titan anyway. It's like you can stand on it on the side on one foot and put all your weight on it, and it's not going to tip. With the Titan, it's like wobbly. It's got really narrow feet, so you're really limited on where you can stand with it and stuff. And I never could get the Titan to like sit level with the Rogue. I mean, with all of this stuff, I mean, you have to appreciate it's steel. It's 3x3 steel. As tolerances and stuff are not maybe as tight as we'd like them to be. And when they manufacture it, it's, it can have some twist and things like that. And so you have to kind of like, put it together loosely, get it where it needs to be, and then tighten it down. And you may even still have to like kind of tweak it a little bit. And that's the same thing with the Titan. Weld together is going to be a little bit different. I would expect the Elite FTS to be more tight, like when you get it in or whatever, but I don't have any complaints about this. I think it's a little bit more versatile because of the bigger foot plates or whatever. You can do more shit with it. And I didn't mean to go off on a full review. I'm about 6 beers in, guys. So
it's basically like an oak club, like
well,
club, right?
yeah, but the Oak Club's about $800.
Yeah.
So I know of like 4 of these things, right? There's the Titan one, which is like $100, which is really fucking cheap, and it is a good Titan. Man, I'm telling you, Titan for me is like it's that ex-girlfriend in high school or college or whatever that like you had a really bad relationship with, but it's been so long you kind of go back to her anyway, and then you remember immediately
6
why
years
you
in.
broke up. Yeah, you're like, fuck, that's exactly why we broke. That's Titan for me. I mean, I love them, but I hate them. And that, so then there's the $100. There's the Elite FTS, which is like $230 shipped or something like that. And it's just like the Titan, same angles and same size and everything, but it's welded together instead of bolted. So it probably feels more stable, but I don't know that. And then there's the Rogue, which is like $500 shipped, which is a lot. I'm not gonna lie, but it's like it's got bigger feet. It's even the like foot platforms, and then even the feet that sit on the ground are wider. So it like you can try to tilt on it and it won't. It's nice. I can do other stuff with it. I mean, some of it's a stretch, right? Like I'm like, hey, I can use it as a bench, sit down and text people between sets, and that kind of stuff, which I do, and it's nice. But then there's also the Oak Club, which is like upper echelon in terms of cost, but it doesn't. When you look at the two, some of the more deciding factors for me. So to get that thing shipped to, it's made in Canada, and to get it shipped to the US to me was almost $800. So that's a lot of fucking money, man, for that. I mean, at that point I am like, okay, fuck it. I'm just going to use cinder blocks. I don't give a shit about the angles or whatever. And the UHMW, just use cinder blocks. But with the Rogue, you get this bigger, thicker piece of UHMW in the middle that it sits on. If you compare that to the Oak Club, it's kind of this, it's a cool design. It looks pretty. You know what I mean? Like it's got all the cool, like Oak Club style stuff. The grip tape even looks cool. I could get it, like the $800 for me was, they were going to send it to me in raw steel without any powder coat or anything like that, which I know it probably cost, I think it was like $50 more or something, like get it in black or something. But it has this little like a thin 1/4 inch piece of UHMW that the bar is going to sit on. So I was looking at that, like it's just on the edge of a piece of UHMW, right? Also the angles of the feet. So like the Elite FTS one does a thing where the angles are not only back, but they're also inward. So the idea is that when you're doing like T-bar row stuff, you're using your core and you're pushing your feet outward. Same thing the Titan does. The Rogue also does that. It's just not as well defined. And then the Oak Club is not at all. I mean, it's almost like a DIY type. I mean, it's just straight back. So those were kind of the two bigger factors. Well, the price, the UHMW thing, I thought, with Oak Club, it'll be harder. It's a little bit more of a boutique type place. And I thought it would be harder to replace UHMW and things like that.
There's an easy fix. There's an easy fix for that though, right?
I'm sure I can come up with
a beater bar.
Oh yeah, fuck that. Yeah, one without any knurl or anything like that.
Gotta have a beater bar.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, man. I just fucking took over your podcast with a goddamn plug for this thing.
That was more in depth than a Coop review.
Yeah. It's the best for most people. It's like to say fuck Coop. I don't know the guy. I think he's great, man. No,
you're good. No, you guys are truly killing it with these stories. But let's move on to that last question. Yeah. It's getting late. All right, what's the biggest myth within the home gym industry, or just something that you see often that you don't agree with?
I'll take that one first because I've been thinking about this one today. So I think one of the biggest myths is the time saved, which, okay, for workout wise, maybe it does save time, but we're probably all day looking at equipment, looking at other stuff, spending all this extra time looking at stuff. It's like, if you go to a commercial gym, you're just going to the gym, coming home. But when you got a home gym, you're spending all day looking for new stuff to buy, new, this, that, YouTube, it doesn't save much time.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
That's a good one.
Yeah, you go to the commercial gym, you don't give a shit if the rack is scratched or if it's got UHMW or if the knurl is to your liking and all that kind of stuff. I agree, man. Time saved, especially if you have kids, right, in there. For me, I don't know about a myth, something I see often that I disagree with. Chip kind of hit on this a minute ago. It's this idea that everyone has to have a fucking beater bar. Like I pose a question, man. I'm like, what are you doing with your beater bar that you can't do with your nicer bar? I understand the idea. Like I get the concept of like, well, but if I have to have a $40, if I had to go to Marketplace and find the bar that's listed as gym bar or whatever for $40 to keep my $1,000 Eleiko bar from getting hurt, then why do I have one of the two doesn't make sense? You know what I mean? Like, why do I need a $40 bar or a beater bar? Why do I have to, like, I'm kind of in a limited amount of space here. Why do I have to dedicate some space to a barbell that I don't fucking want? You know what I mean? Like there are enough bars on the market, whether it's Facebook Marketplace or whatever, you can get nice bars that I wouldn't necessarily consider a beater bar. You can still use it as like a landmine bar or whatever it is. But like, what are you doing to it that you have to have a $40 barbell to do that your other one wouldn't do? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, landmines and rack pulls are probably the two things that people say the most often, which I still maintain. I could do that with my Ohio power bar, and I don't call that a fucking beater bar.
It's got to keep it on the low profiling.
Oh, kitty.
Yeah.
What's that?
My cat
So you just
stopping
gotta-
to say hi.
Oh, look at that cat.
Oh, he's so handsome.
It looks superimposed, like on my screen. It
Yeah.
looks like you put that there, like it's a digital.
Oh, he's a chunky guy. I love
Oh
it.
yeah, very chunky.
So
Sorry. Not
very-
to derail our conversation. Yeah.
So very
I
simple.
feel like
Very simple answer, Jason. 7 bars, 8-bar gun rack. Got to have a beater
hey,
bar.
hey, if you're all about
Looks
if
good
you're
on the
all
wall.
about the numbers, yeah, all about the numbers, I get that. And that's just call it what it is. And I appreciate that's where Chip and I have like bonded over this beater bar thing, because it's like, call it what it is. You know what I mean? Like if it's just about numbers, I get it. Like I mean, I have a fucking like a, what is that? The Rogue C60B. Look it up because you've probably never seen it before. It's like a 4 foot.
It's a 5 foot bar. It's 60 inches.
Yeah, 5 foot, like
Yeah.
non-rackable straight bar. Like I was like, oh, I'd like to do a straight bar curl once, and hung it on the wall, and that's what it is. But it's not a beater. It's a really fucking nice Cerakote straight bar.
So Chip, if you have an 8-bar holder, that must be reps then, even though you claim to be all in on Rogue.
Heyo.
Do not have any. So I don't have any rep bars. I have.
No, the gun rack.
The holder.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
All Rogue gun racks are 3 or 6.
Uh,
3 or 6.
Yes, it's the
Reps,
rep.
I know, but
Yep, it's the rep
You
8-bar gun holder. Yes.
You just got actually.
That's right. No, I have some rep stuff. I
You
don't not
did.
rep.
Okay. I just busted the job.
Yeah. That was
Actually.
actually literally when I saw the 8-bar rack from rep, I was like, that's exactly what I need, because I needed more than 6, and I didn't want to go with the 6 and the 3 to make 9, and then I had to buy 2 beer bars. You know, like
So, give me 2.
Sorry, my wife is like,
hates your
so long.
friends. She hates your friends. She's like, what the fuck, man?
I really struggle with this question because I mean the time thing was a good one, but I really don't. I mean, I don't see much out there that I don't agree with. I think that everybody kind of has their own path for their home gym and how they want to build it and what they want for their space and their training style, and all those things kind of come together to make it your experience, like it's your gym, right? So there's nothing really that I can go out and say, I don't agree with that, because that's the decision somebody else made, right? The biggest thing that I hear when I'm talking to like my buddies that don't have home gyms is like, I don't have the space for it, man. I definitely I'll come talk to you when I have the space for a home gym. I don't think that you need a lot of space. I mean, like I said, I started on a corner of a spare bedroom with an adjustable bench and power blocks, right? And you can build from there as your situation changes. So I think that's the biggest myth, is that you've got to have like a dedicated space, or you've got to have, a 20 by 20 garage. Like, I mean, look at the guys on this call here, there's all variations of different sizes and spaces that they have. So I think that you use what you have, and if that's what you want to do, then you can make it happen.
Yeah, man, I totally agree with that. I started with the Bowflex 552, not even the bench. I was like, I'm not going to get the bench. I can just use like the edge of my bed and do bench press from that or something. I started with that and like the Body Beast video from Beachbody, and that was my home gym for about a year. Was just that. So I'm with you. And it was like, I didn't want to dedicate any space. I just had them in the floor in the corner of my office. And it's just about what you want to do, whether you want to do it or not.
All right. Anything else to add, guys?
If Aaron does everything, I'll jump in and finish up. The people on Facebook that say weight is weight just fucking piss me off. Like, weight is not fucking weight. Like, your weights might weigh 43 or 47 pounds. Like, shove it up your ass. No, weight is not weight. You're blown out whole tolerances that like are all sloppy on the bar. Like, if I want to have something nice, don't shit on my parade. Like people that post nice stuff and on all the different Facebook groups and then just get shit on by these entry level fuckers that are saying weight is weight and just try to bring you down. Oh, that infuriates me. And there's a plethora of them that want to do it.
I think weight is weight unless it's your weight. You know what I mean? Like it's when it's my weight, it's when I'm spending my money on it, like weight is not weight. You know what I mean? Like it means a little bit more than it does when it's in your gym. Like when you're complaining about it, I'm like, yeah, fuck you, man. Just lift, shut up and lift. Get some calluses, bitch. You know, but like when it's my hands, I'm like, all right, you know, I wear some gloves today. Just kidding. Cut that. Cut that.
I think I'm gonna unfollow you if you wear gloves, homie.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to do it.
Yeah.
I will make sure to let all of you, or I'll make sure to have links to follow all of you all. I truly appreciate you guys spending your evening. I know it's getting late. So yeah,
It's been awesome, man. Thanks a lot, Jake.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed
man,
it, guys.
hey,
This is great.
I appreciate the invite to come on. I like getting to know some of you guys outside of Instagram. So this is super cool. Like I said, man, for me, the whole start or the biggest driver for this thing is this whole sense of community. So being a part of it and getting to see your faces and talk to you guys. And again, outside of just like what I see on social media or whatever is really cool for me. I hope you guys feel the same way,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
but regardless. And Kyle, in the least creepiest way, tell your wife, sorry for keeping you so long.
All right. All right, guys, I'm going to close it.
I had a blast, guys. Thanks, everyone. This was definitely made my day.
Yes, awesome, guys. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks. Hope to do it again sometime.